Welcome to another one of my guides. In this video I hid a couple of tips and tricks and a guide on how to actually increase your item power and buy better gear for better prices. If you want to watch the video, then do it fully, be sure not to skip it, there are no specific chapters. If you want to enter the 7-day premium giveaway, be sure to leave a comment with your in-game name in it. Also be sure to like the video. If you enjoyed the content, please subscribe, and let's get into the video without no further notice. So I'm going to show you how you should ideally buy your gear set. First of all, let's look for a dagger just so I can show you the template on what you should be searching. So just type in dagger, go to tier 4 for example, enchantment 1. And a lot of people forget about this one, but you really do want to select the quality. I mean, you should either buy an outstanding or excellent quality weapon, because they are basically the same, but the quality does change the IP up to 60. So I'm also gonna show you how you should compare the prices on your gear. So let's say you want to buy a tier 7 equivalent gear set, so let's go for the Hellion jacket. I'm going to put in 4-3. I'm just going to look at all of them. I also want to check what quality it is, but you can change the quality on top of the tab. Also gonna say this for newcomers. When I say tier 7 equivalent gear, I mean 4-3, 5-2, 6-1 or 7-0 gear. So this means that to get the tier of the item, you actually can take the current tier. So let's say tier 4 and enchantment 3. You just do 4 plus 3 and you get 7. It's that easy. I mean, small bench you might have trouble doing so, but you guys should be fine. So let's look at the prices. 4-3 is 140,000. Now let's look at 5-2, the same quality, it's 170,000. Now the higher tier does have more IP, but if the price difference is over 30,000, I don't recommend getting the higher tier 1. Also wanted to mention that there are items known as artifact items. These items require an artifact to craft them. I mean, you just press onto the item and you can see the recipe, it's that easy. So lower tier items of that artifact item are going to be cheaper than the ones with higher tier. I mean, makes sense because, for example, you have to kill a tier 4 mob to get the lower artifact, but a tier 8 one to get the higher artifact. Now let's take the assassin jackets, 4 of them, the same tier, every single one of them, but the price changes. And I mean, you will see why in a second. You can see that the tier 5-1 jacket has a 1300 IP, the tier 4-2 has a 1284, and the tier 6-01 has 1319 IP. So you can see the IP does go up about 40 IP for 2 tiers, but it's also going to be more expensive. This time it's only 10k, but it might be around 100k depending on the item. The reason why I wanted to show these jackets is because I'm going to also show you the destiny board. So the reason my assassin jackets are so high IP is because I have all of the leather jackets leveled up. I'm also going to explain this. There are weapon trees that split up into their own weapons, and you can have a specialist class in every weapon, armor and every other thing. There's also combat credits or combat fame credits. You can earn them when your items are fully leveled up and you use them to gather fame. So all that extra fame is going to be turned into combat fame credits in a ratio. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but it's not that good. I mean, it's decent if you use silver as well, but you can use these credits to level up your items manually, just like I showed you. I also wanted to point out that if you want to do some kind of PvP type of content in Albion, you do need to level up your weapon to 100, because leveling up your weapon to 100 basically gives you an extra 200 or 300 worth of IP. I mean, but you don't have to level your items up if you want to be a cocaine absorbing half deaf broken back autistic old lady. But I mean, that's fine if you want to do that. Also, if you level up other things from the same tree, weapon or armor tree, it also gives you spec on all of the other items in the tree. So for example, if you level up all of the leather boots, you will get an extra 100 IP to your leather boots. Every one you level up to 100 will give you an extra 20 on the other leather boots as well, and 200 to itself. You can also check out your item's IP on how it's getting scored. If you just open your inventory, click onto the item and take your mouse to the item power slot, it will show you, for example, 900 is the usual one, plus 40 for quality, and plus 344 for my mastery, so the leveling up I've been doing for it. and the 34 extra as well for the tier. So I think for this example it is worth paying like 10,000 more silver just to get that extra for the IP. I mean, it's a decent amount of IP. Also, if you did not already know, each tier goes up by 100 item power. So tier 4 for example is 700 item power, tier 5 is 800, tier 6 is 900, tier 7 is 1000 and tier 8 is 1100. I know, it's kind of crazy, but sadly you can't really count it on your fingers. Also, the item power on your items gives you more armor, more damage, more resistances, more bonus damage multiplier. So leveling up items is really crucial in Albion. You can also go check out my other videos on how to fame farm and how to make silver. I mean, they're just sitting there waiting for you, right? So let's take a quick cave comparison just to see what tier you should be rocking with. I mean, a lot of people make this mistake and basically waste silver. So the tier 6 3 Mudlock cape is 740k, the 4 3 is 120k, the Deadfort 6 3 is 600k and the tier 4 is 130. Now let's look at it. The Mudlock cape actually gives you 50% defense after you're below 25% HP and the cooldown is 2 minutes 40. So I mean that's pretty decent, right? Now let's take a look at the 4 3. It's 500k cheaper and the ability is exactly the same. The only difference is a 13-second cooldown. You're gonna pay 500k for a 13-second cooldown? What the fuck, man? Buying anything than a 4-3 is basically scamming. Now look at the Deadfort. 288 damage to 4 enemies, a 15-second cooldown. Also 15-second cooldown, but it just has 55 less damage. Do you really want to spend 500k on 50 extra damage? You can already buy a new tier of your weapon. I mean, it's only worth buying like a high tier cape if you're doing Ava raids or HCEs, so hardcore expeditions. But I mean, it's not worth it, man. Just don't do it. I mean, I'm not gonna stop you, but if you want to join Mortifiers and ask for help, of course you can. You just need 10 million PvP fame and 30 million total fame. I mean, it's not that much. You can just join and ask us questions as well, play with us, learn. But if you don't want to join like XX unknown XX, I mean, you can always just sit around, buy 6-3 capes and end up as a beggar or a homeless person in Albion, sitting on the streets looking for a new home. I'm also gonna show you this cool IP, 1550. It's because I've leveled all my daggers to 100, apart from Dagger Bear. But if you come to the Destiny board and look at all of the things I've leveled up, basically everything, just because I'm that rich and cool, that's why you should subscribe. For example, this is the Sword Fighter weapon tree. As you can see, these are all the swords. This is called a tree. And the ones that go separately from it are specialty, so spec. You can see you get rewards from leveling up the weapon tree. You just have to use one of the swords. So you get rewards from level 1 to 100. The level 100 reward is that you can use tier 8 weapons. I mean, that's pretty good, but you also get extra IP on your weapons by leveling it up. You also get abilities once you level the weapon up a bit. So the best ability on level 85, it's going to be the Iron Will. It's really OP for swords in PvP. It's gonna kill the enemies faster than the local Americans can run to McDonald's. I mean, they can't run, they're obese, but you know, it still kills the enemies really fast. And if you look at the abilities, a tier 4 sword won't have all of the same abilities as a tier 7 or tier 8 does. So I think the tier 6 one has all of the abilities anyways. So this broadsword, you can see the W only has 3 on tier 4, but it also has all the abilities on tier 6. And the other swords, which are artifact swords, they actually have all of the abilities through all of the tiers. I mean, as you can see, it's the same thing with the axes. The axes just have an extra Q, so tier 6 and artifact weapons on tier 4 and 5 actually get an extra Q ability as well, apart from the Ws, of course. You unlock these abilities by just leveling the weapon tree up, same for helmets and shit. I also wanted to point out that every single weapon has the same Qs and Ws in the same weapon line. Weapon tree, you might say. But the third ability on helmets, armors, boots is always different, so the first two are the same ability, but the third one is different. On weapons it's the E ability, so the same tree line has the same Qs, Ws, passives, but the E is always different. I mean, but on some items you really don't need specs. the abilities to scale with item power, but some weapons like the Great Arcane really don't need it. I mean, that's exactly why Albion Online features a unique classless system in which you are what you wear. I honestly don't think there's nothing else to add. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out, ask them from me. If you want to enter the 7-day premium giveaway, then just leave a comment, like the video. I'll be revealing the winner in the next video. With all that covered, I do want to let you know that Modifiers is still recording. The link is in the description to join. Thanks for watching my video. I have some more guides on my channel and some other fight videos, so be sure to check them out, and see you later, ho!
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine white like a diamond.
Firelight and the beautiful sea, I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star, I see, a vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive, we're like diamonds in the sky.